What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. So today we have got a preview of the Leeds game. It's another Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff, guys. What's going on?
Well,
Holy
mate,
crap.
Although it is the first one at Villa Park in over a year, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're playing in European competitions, right? So just what it is, right? It's swings and roundabouts. But yeah, mate, it's mind-boggling. And the good news, right? I think Mrs. B's coming on Saturday.
Holy shit, really?
Yes. So Ava is playing Derby, and so I think Brian's going to miss the Villa and take Ava to that game. But and Sarah and I are going to go and have a bit of a.
Oh, mate, that's quality. Can't wait for that. That's going to be great. I haven't been to a game with Mrs. B. That'd be awesome.
So how excited is that, right?
With that. Cool. Well, so we have got Dylan waiting in the wings, a fellow fanalist he's a Leeds fan. So we'll get, obviously, his opinion. Everyone loves these opposition shows. We always get loads of comments and compliments on them. If you are new here, please do hit that subscribe, hit the like, hypes, whatever. But please do subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000. I think we're on like 1,819 or something like that. Although we had a couple drop off yesterday, which is really weird. I don't know who goes through their subscriptions, right, and like cleans them out. It just doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. But anyway, if you are one of these people,
road to 2K,
subscribe again. Like, fucking, I will find you. I will find you.
Look, you don't even have to watch. I said this to one of the. I'm trying to get a Wolves fan on, right? Because we had trouble. No one from the Wolves, right? But Sarah works with a Wolves fan, right? Yeah. And I've said, right, just get him to come on. I said, mate, like, he said, I'm not liking anything Villa. I said, right, you don't even ever have to watch it. Just hit that subscribe button, right, and forget about it. That's it.
He can come on and slag Villa off as well. Like, I'd actually quite like someone to come on and be quite aggressive. With like, in terms of if it's like a derby type game,
wings, he's like, right, I'm coming to me in Clifton.
Well, I mean, there is we'll get to it. There is a little bit of a bite, so like for the past recent last 5, 6, 7 years with like Leeds and Villa. There's been like some couple of events in the Championship and stuff. So there's a little bit of bite there, I think, with this game. Maybe more with the Villa fans. I'm not sure, but yes. Anyway, we'll get Dylan on in a sec. But how are you doing, Gary, in general?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. It's been a busy week, dude. Like the social media thing is starting to kind of, get a little bit of traction, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's all right. This social media malarkey, it's this new fandangled social media. It's a place for lots of activity, isn't it?
Look, we know it's not real, right? It's kind of make believe, right? But it's fun, right? Newcastle fans have entertained me this week like you would not believe. I'm still getting comments, right, of like sub on the Holt, and I'm like, oh dear Lord!
And they're not even spelling it right. They're not spelling it right. Put the E on the end.
Right, we've had some interesting people come onto the lives, and I get it. You beat us, right? But it's like I'm talking about Leeds previews and stuff. Like that's 4 days ago. Like I'm over it. Like well done, congratulations, right? And so that's been fun. But obviously we've also got a little bit of a push on TikTok because I don't know if people have seen. So if you haven't, please not only subscribe here, but go over to TikTok and give us a follow because my wonderful wife, as wonderful as she is, there's a new jacket coming out, right? And it's all about us getting to 10,000 followers. Obviously, we know that is the pinnacle at TikTok because that's when you can start monetizing and stuff, right? So that's one thing, but that's not important. The important thing is that Sarah has put a challenge down because she didn't think I'd do it because I was at 7,000. She had, right, so 10,000 followers by the end of February when this jacket comes out. If I can do it, I can get it. Now I'm at 8,160 followers on TikTok, right? So there's a push there, but there's a young new content creator called Walkie AVFC who's joined the Hub Hub, the Holt Hub, teeth back in the Holt Hub, right? And he's kind of we're going to do a collab together, and if he gets to 3,000 followers, we're going to meet up at Villa Park and make the purchase together and do a TikTok live together, which should be ace. So come on, people, let's give it a push. That's how I'm doing, mate. It's fun and guys. I've got these little things. I've got about 4 videos to edit today to put out to kind of push it up. So let's get it going, people. Let's get it going.
Good work. Nice. Well, on that note, it's probably time to bring Dylan in. Yeah. Hello, Dylan. How you doing?
Hey,
yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yourselves?
Yeah, good.
He's coming professional. He's got the He's got the microphone on the handle and everything. This is his moment. This is this is your moment. You know how you were saying you haven't been on Sky yet?
Should we all do that? Because then we've all got mics. I don't know if does that work better? Or should I be the? I don't know. I'll be the other one. Right.
You know how you said you haven't been on Sky yet? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is way bigger. This is way bigger than the moment on Sky.
This is the pinnacle of football content creation right here, mate.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, your life has been leading up to this moment. Well, anyway, Leeds. So let's get on to Leeds. It's a bit of a weird season. I feel like I was saying to Gary, I'm actually a little bit worried about this game because I feel like you guys have hit a vein of form. But actually, I think you've only won 1 of the 6, but you've played well, and you've got a lot of draws in there. So what's the feeling amongst the Leeds fans at the minute? Because you're still in there, you're still scrapping away down at the bottom. You haven't got out of that yet. But how's the atmosphere in the Leeds camp?
I'd say it's very confident. I know a lot of fans that I know personally are very confident that we can stay up. I do think when you look at the likes of West Ham and Forest especially, I do think I think they're still worse than we are. And obviously, Spurs are now dragged back well into it as well on top of that. So I think we'll be okay. And I think the general consensus is that we will be all right. Because, you look at since we played Chelsea at home, we've only lost 2 games, which was Arsenal at home, which in my opinion are the best in Europe at the minute. And then you've got the other game was away at Newcastle. So, and that game as well was very...
You should have got something from, by the way. That was a phenomenal game of football. I watched that game.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's definitely very good signs for us when you're looking at all we need is to keep picking up results here and there. And, we've still got the cup to think about, which, at 90 minutes, I was kind of thinking, just knock us out and focus on the league. But, for the fact that all we need is just keep picking up results, for the confidence factor to keep everyone playing minutes of football as well, keep everyone fit. It's good to have that cup run in there as well. And, for the confidence as well, just to have that to look on in the horizon. I think we're having a very, very good season so far. Because I don't think you can bemoan too much at finishing, even if we finish 17th, I don't think you can bemoan too much finishing 17th as a new promoted side. I'd have took that at the beginning of the season. And, if we manage to even finish anywhere near 15th, I think that's, when you consider where we were, for example, when we last played yourselves, and, it's an incredible turnaround, especially for Farker, especially.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think the most impressive thing about Leeds is that you've changed the way you were playing to kind of almost consolidate that, staying in the league is priority. And look, it's been a tough nut to crack that, because last 3 seasons, the teams that have come up have gone straight back down. So to break that is massive. And like you say, I think it's commendable that you've done that, because most teams don't do that. And they just, managers go, no, well, this is the way we play, and this is the way we're going to attack the Premier League. And ultimately, you want to stay in it, right? So yes, obviously you want to be as high at the table, but you're right. I don't know. As current form goes, I look at the teams around you, and I think Leeds have been by far the best team in that bottom 6. Do you know what I mean? If you look at Spurs, I know they're going to have a new manager bounce, but it's going to be really interesting to see how they respond. I'd love Spurs to go down. I'd love Spurs to go down. That would be amazing, right? Forest and West Ham are the 2 for me. I see Forest in trouble, if I'm honest. Mate, I think Marinakis is mentally unstable. I love you, mate. Please don't kill me. Right? He's. I was kind of half expecting him to take the job himself. And I just think with Nuno.
Yeah, you remember that interview with Gibbs White? That's basically what he's going to be doing on the pitch. He's going to be go around going, let him score. Let him score.
And I think Nuno will have a point to prove against Marinakis to keep West Ham up. And they've looked actually like they've started to hit a bit of run of form. They played well against Man United last week. So for you, it's like, the away form's not been great for Leeds, right? I think it's 1 in 10, which is obviously a concern. But if your home form can be as good as it's been, then I think you'll have enough to stay up. I do. Well, that's...
Yeah, I think we've only won 1 away from home all season.
Yeah.
I think. So, it's not great, the away form, but when you look at the home form, I think, you know, 76 points of our whole tally this season have been won at home. And, you know, Fark's got this incredible record of not lost a game at home in an evening match. So, you know, we're absolutely flying when we play at home under Farker. It's like a fortress, and you've seen, you know, the videos of the crowd and the atmosphere. I don't know if any of you went to the game at Ellen Road this season, and you know, it's an absolute fortress. Yeah, and you know, it's the same for Villa when it gets going at Villa Park. You know, it's the same thing where it's your fans, you get behind your team and things like that. So I think that I'm a lot more worried for the game against Villa than maybe you are.
Well, based on what you've just said as well, evening games at home. This is an away game on a Saturday at 3 p.m. So I'm a bit more confident now, if I'm honest.
Having said that, similar to you, but evenings at Villa Park are usually rocking. Night games are brilliant. I think whether it's because people have a few beers and just let themselves go a little bit more, but there's been some criticism at Villa Park about how flat it can be, and I think it's been fair criticism. Even Ollie Watkins came out earlier in the season and said, like, you know, I think it was after the Forest game, so only a couple of months ago, where he was like, look, it was flat. And you go, yeah, right, mate, but it's January. None of us have got any money. It's freezing cold. It was 12:30 kickoff. Give us a break, sunshine. Right? None of us are running around. Anyway,
I think that was his point. We were 2-0 up, and he's like, you're not even singing.
Yeah, no, I didn't disagree with the comments, but I think, like, again, going back to last weekend's FA Cup game against Newcastle, the place was rocking. It was, even when we were losing. I think I think that kind of message has hit home, and the last couple of home games have been a little bit better. So I'm hoping 3 o'clock on a Saturday still gives enough for the mad singers out there to get to the Witten Arms, have a couple of points, and let it flow, because we've got to be the 12th man here. You know, I know that the Leeds form is poor, but we've gone from Villa Park being an absolute fortress this season. Let's be clear on that. It has been. We won 11 games in a row there. It was a difficult place to come and win. But then recently, you know, due to injuries, I'm not going to use them as an excuse, but, you know, we lost to Everton, we lost to Brentford, and then we've lost to Newcastle in the FA Cup. So that's 3 out of 4 home games that we've lost. However, I just think that this Villa side is built slightly different, and I think it's going to be a close game on Saturday. I don't think we're going to kind of come and just walk all over you. I think Leeds will come and kind of cause us some problems. I think you'll come and attack us, which is where teams have the most joy against us. But I think we've just got a way of bouncing back. And I think the result against Bournemouth away and the home victory against Brighton are 2 really encouraging performances that we can still grind out results. So we're not playing brilliantly at the moment, but I think we've got enough in our side to grind them out. And we're so close to kind of these next 2 games for us against yourselves on Saturday, the following, and then next week against Wolves are huge, because then we've got Chelsea and Man United coming up, and that will, I think, ultimately say where we're going to finish, if we are going to finish in the top 4. So it's ours to lose, really, but we've got to get it done dirty, because like I say, we're missing key players in our midfield, and there is gaps that teams can exploit. So, like James said, I'm a little bit nervous about this one, because Leeds at Villa Park has always been a bit of a feisty occasion, right?
Yeah. Well, so let's just touch on that. So, like, is it just? So it's not. I don't think it's just me. I've definitely spoken to a couple of Villa fans, and there's stuff around. There's a little bit of an edge when it comes to Villa Leeds. Is it just on the Villa side, or is there a feeling of that on the Leeds side? Do you guys just not give a shit about it?
I think there's definitely something there. I think that game in the Championship definitely sparked a bit of a bite between the fans. But I mean, it probably sparked more between John Terry and Bielsa, to be fair, than the fans. But I mean, that was a pretty mental. I mean, you know, I always clip up that goal, you know, but epic, all the time. It is epic. And, you know, from a Leeds side, you know, I still sometimes think, you know, what, nothing wrong with a goal, you know, it's play to the whistle. But, you know, it's all about that sportsmanship at the end of the day. And, you know, Bielsa was such a purist, and, you know, he didn't want to win, having felt like he'd, you know, done it in a foul way or unsportsmanlike. So, you know, I can completely understand that. And, you know, it didn't really affect our season too much in the end, you know, because even if we'd won that game, we wouldn't have gone up automatically anyway. So,
right, it would have been interesting, you know, if it had been the other way around. I wonder how Dean Smith would have and John Terry would have, like, we'd have lost. Leeds score a goal. We would have just gone.
Well, it's also, I mean,
do you know what I mean? It's interesting, isn't it, when it doesn't benefit you? I'd be fascinating to see how we would have handled that situation.
I do think there's not a chance to Al Apple on Saturday. I think there's way too much at stake.
Oh, no way. No way. I do think, though, if the whole Spygate thing hadn't happened earlier in the season, I feel like he maybe felt like he had a little bit of a point to prove that, we're not cheats. But
mate, well, I think there's gun turrets now around Bodymore Heath to shoot down any drones and kind of like any trespassers. So is it at least the house has got security up to Bodymore Heath? You can't just walk in there and start watching the first team train. Fun times, man. When I look back at them and go, actually, that's such a laugh, really, when you think about it, right? Like espionage within the championship.
Was absolutely ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I remember those few years in the championship were just bizarre. There was some crazy games. There was stuff like that. I was just like, what is going on in this crazy league? Like, it's just mental. The thing that actually I always remember with Leeds Villa, it was the Bamford. Was it Bamford and Mings? It's the Bamford Mings thing, and there was Bamford. I think I'm sure Bamford came out or something in an interview and said he hates Villa.
Sure, he said something like that. I think it was. I don't know if it was a Leeds podcast or something. Because he used to do the Leeds United official podcast at one point. And I mean, I think he pretended to get punched by Hurahan in that game. He went down. He got away with it. But then the FA afterwards banned him, and he was suspended for the playoffs. And he couldn't play.
There we go. Good knowledge, Dylan. Good knowledge, mate. Like that.
Very good. Speaking of just quickly before we move on. Speaking of strikers, I suppose a lot of people are probably saying the key for you guys is keeping Calvert-Lewin fit. Really,
100%.
He's been a revelation.
You know what? Before the season, when we signed him, I did say it'd be if he can stay fit, it's a good signing. In terms of when you look at his stats, he's always been known to be in the right positions. When he's not scoring, he's in the right positions. And, his first game for us was away at Sheff Wednesday in the Cup. And, he had about 6 chances and he blundered absolutely every single one of them and missed a penalty. And it was like, we've signed an absolute dud. And it was like, it was so Leeds. And I was like, it's not great, but he's in the right positions to score. And it's since, November, December, he's been an absolute revelation. And this new system has benefited himself massively, specifically. And it's brought the best out of Calvert-Lewin, which is what we needed. He only scored like maybe 1 or 2 goals before this new system change. And like I say, since that second half at Manchester City where we changed it all, it's been an absolute, like I say, it's been a revelation. And I know, with the World Cup coming up, I think I would have him and Watkins alongside Kane in that World Cup squad. Personally,
well, I would go as far as to say that I think Calvert-Lewin is going to nudge Watkins out of it, if I'm honest, because
you think so?
Although Watkins has scored 8 goals this season, his form has been really poor, mate. Like his contribution in games is not what it should be. And I think, we came so close to signing Calvert-Lewin. I think there was different rumours.
There was
that we were looking at him, and
there was rumours that we were looking at him, and I remember us talking about it. I think I went to you. I was like, well, it'd be free. He'd be a backup for Watkins. I think he'd be happy to be a backup. His numbers are still decent if you can keep him fit. And I think you were like, actually, it's a decent signing that. And we were kind of talked about it. And then he joined you guys. So anyway.
Look, I think the competition for places in England are going to be tight anyway. And unless Watkins finishes the season really, really strong, which he still hopefully will do for us, but I don't see it personally. But if he did, then it's that question: who would you take? Because I don't think he'll take both Thomas Tuchel. I think he's a guy who clearly goes on form, which is phenomenal. I've wanted an England boss like that for ages. So I think Calvert-Lewin, if you look at the top strikers in the English strikers in the Premier League, bar Watkins, his name is next, right? And you start with Kane. So I'm hoping that can be a motivator for Watkins, because it is a World Cup year. Come on, sunshine. We need to finish strong. We're trying to qualify for the Champions League. If we win the next 4 games, we could be still in the title race. I'm just saying, I don't think we're going to win the league, by the way. But in terms of how results go, it's like we're not being spoke about in that light, but that's how close it is. And these are the fine margins, right? And it's the same for you with Calvert-Lewin. If he carries on having the form, that's the difference between relegation and not relegation, because the teams down the bottom struggle to score goals. I mean, you've got a striker who scored, 9 goals in half a season. That's a good return. Do you know what I mean? So,
and he scored it in a team, the lower echelons of the league. So it's not like he's playing the team that are free flowing, higher up the league, like smashing goals in all over the place.
But isn't it amazing? I find it really fascinating, James and Dylan, that the system, like, so if you, with Calvert-Lewin, if you look at it, he had one brilliant season at Everton, didn't he? And then he was just plagued with injuries. And that was kind of what put me off him if when we were there was rumours around him because of can he stay fit and whatnot. And then obviously when he joined you guys in the game you mentioned, I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad we haven't signed him. Look at him, he's terrible, right? And then, like you say, this just kind of that change in the system, how it can benefit players when you play to their strengths and you play like where it's almost built around them, what it can do, because it shows that actually that they're not bad footballers, they're not bad strikers all of a sudden. It does depend on how you utilise them to get the best out of them, right? And good coaches recognise that. And I think that's why the credit has to go, as much as this pains me, Dylan, that credit has to go to Leeds, that they've, to save their season, no, it's not working. We need to change what we're doing. And boom, look at the results you got. Now, obviously, it's still a scrap, but like I said, if you can continue that form, put yourselves in a winning position, in my opinion.
What is it that Daniel Farker? What is it that he changed for Calvert-Lewin to get him firing?
I think for me, playing him alongside somebody else, because before he was very isolated in games, up front on his own, and there wasn't many players playing off him as such. We was playing a 4-2-3-1 before that point, and he played that throughout his entire tenure since becoming manager, and it was there was games where like he was very isolated. I know he scored a goal against Wolves, which was a header, which it was a typical Calvert-Lewin's number 9 goal. But other than that, his hold-up play has always been good, regardless of whatever system he's played in. But it's when he's holding the ball up, he's not really early on in the season had the players around him to play off him and get in on goal and things like that. So having now somebody else up there with him, which in recent weeks has been Noah Okafor, although I do prefer when he plays Lucas Mecha up front with him, and having 2 number 9s up there, I do think we look better. And I think Calvert-Lewin brings the best out of Nemecha, and Nemecha brings the best out of Calvert-Lewin. But I do think that Okafor's been in good form, and I think both of them have brought the best out of Calvert-Lewin playing alongside him. And even he's tinkered with Brendan Aronson as a second striker up front with him as well at points. But I do prefer to see him a bit further out wide rather than in that second striker role, because he's physically not as much of a presence as a Okafor or Nemecha.
Before we move on, slightly off topic, I should have done this at the start, Dylan, but we've got to say a massive thank you to Leeds United for beating Birmingham City in the FA Cup, because that cheered my weekend up no end after being knocked out. To be fair, right,
we made it hard work.
Blues played well, right? I'm not going to take it away, but you did field a pretty much second string side. When I looked at your starting 11, I was like, I don't recognise any of the players. Like genuine, I was like, oh, okay. And you were away from home, but you got it done. Penalties, and I think like you say, I think as the game went on against Newcastle, so I was like, look, just get us not attacked. Well, at half time, down to 10 minutes, I was like, we don't need this. We need Champions League football. Like, just beat us and get it done. So I came out of Villa Park not too disappointed until I got online. And then obviously all the blue noses came out and were like, "Oh, we're gonna win the FA Cup." I was like, "But you've got to get past Leeds first, right? Come on!" And you did us a solid, mate. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the hat trick quiz, which is everyone's highlight of these episodes, do you think it's going to go down to that last day? Just looking at West Ham away.
Yeah. So given our away form, I really, really hope not. I'd hate to have to go to West Ham and need to get 3 points or even a draw, because knowing us, some of it will score a hat trick and relegate us, and it'll be absolutely ridiculous. And he'll start dancing on us with his ridiculous celebrations as well, and somersaulting and everything. So
those last 4 games, because you've got Burnley at home, Spurs away, and then you got Brighton at home, and then West Ham away. It's like those last 4 games could be absolutely ridiculous. Like that is, and if you want to get on Sky, mate, that's when you'll be on Sky.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
down there,
That's when it'll happen because
that's when it'll be called
It'll be
off.
after
You'll be called
relegation at West Ham, won't it? Yeah, that's what I'll be on.
Brilliant. Gary, do you want to go on to the hat-trick quiz then?
Yes, mate. Okay, so as we, for those of you that don't know it, it's the hat-trick quiz. There's 3 questions with a bonus question to have, which we call the VAR question. We have a tap-in, which is just as it describes, a simple tap-in, which is the easy question. We have the 30-yard curler from the edge of the box, 25-yard curler from the edge of the box, and then the 35-yard thunder bastard. So medium hard questions, and then we get the bonus question if you don't get those right. So we'll just get straight into it, Dylan. That this is not too toxic. It's just a little bit of fun, but it's just to break up the quiz before we get into squads and score predictions. So, first question, here comes the tapping. On the 23rd of October 2020 at Villa Park, COVID times, Leeds beat Villa 3-0. All right. Who scored the hat-trick for Leeds?
Patrick Bamford.
Yes, it was. Honestly, this guy wound me up like you would
in
not
this
believe.
shirt.
Yeah, in that shirt. And I didn't want to say anything at the start. I thought, he's wearing the shirt that Bamford scored the hat-trick in.
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD. It was almost like in that time, in the COVID times, right, where Bielsa ball was just like phenomenal. It was like watching Barcelona play. We couldn't cope. We just didn't have the tempo and the energy to cope with you, and we got absolutely battered.
Yeah, I could talk all day about Bielsa and that those 3-4 years. Like, it was genuinely probably the best 4 years I've ever had watching Leeds. Even watching him like at the end losing to like 6-0 at like City and all that lot. It was just watching us, like, especially in those Championship first year in the Premier League days as well. It was it was mental watching players that finished 16th to then turn that around and finish 3rd in the Championship, looking like they could have gone up. It was mental. It was mental.
Yeah, good times, man. Okay, so simple tapping completed, mate. That's the first goal scored. So on to the medium question, the curler from the edge of the box. Right. So in December 2018, Leeds came back from 2-0 down, right, to win 3-2 at Villa Park in the Championship. I remember this game because I had hospitality. At half-time, I was sipping whiskey going. It was a Tammy Abraham double. I was like, yes, Christmas has come early, people. And we were supposed to be going on a football works do night out, and I went straight home from the game, didn't go out. That's how much it pissed me off. I was absolutely raging, right? But can you tell me who scored Leeds' winner in that game?
Yeah, it was Kemar Roof. In that game, it was 90th minute.
It was. I remember it very well, mate. And like I say, it ruined my whole Christmas. Well, not my whole Christmas. I still spent it, but I go out every year at Christmas with my old football buddies, right? And I live for that night. It's like my favourite night of the year. And I got into town from Villa Park, and I went for one drink. And there was a load of Leeds fans in and around Birmingham New Street, and I couldn't cope. I was like, no, I've got to go home. I've got to go home. Just jumped on the train and went straight home and cried into my blanket. My wife was like, why are you back so early? I said, I can't. I'm not talking about it. I've just beat us 3-2. I can't cope. Christmas.
On Kemar Roof, do you know where he's at now?
No, where is he? I know he went to Rangers, but I don't know if he's left since then.
Yeah, no, he's still playing. He's at Walsall in League Two.
Is he?
Local prospect,
without Uncle Albert. There you
go. Yeah.
There's a Villa League.
Yeah, with Albert Doma, exactly. Yeah.
The roof is on. Anyway, that's my own channel. Coming up with chance.
To be fair, that Christmas period, I think that was that the. I don't know if that wasn't the Boxing Day game. That was the New Year's Eve, I think, or maybe the week. It was either the one before Boxing Day or the one after, because we had Blackburn Rovers at home.
Yeah, it was the one before. I think it was the 18th of December we played you. It was the week before Christmas.
Yeah, and then Boxing Day we had Blackburn Rovers at home, and again that one we were 2-1, 2-0 down, and we scored like 2 goals in 3 or 4 minutes at the very end of the game to win the game 3-2. That was 2 games were mental.
Yeah, it's crazy how we can remember these random things, but I can't remember to take the bins out when my wife asked me.
Oh man, you know what? Do you know what? I put the bins out at 3:15 this morning because I woke up. I was like, "Crap! I forgot to put the bins out."
But you remember that we played Leeds on like Boxing Day,
on the 18th of December, and I remember, mate, like the male brain is interesting, man. It really is fascinating. So anyway, so 2 out of 2, mate. This is the I think there's only one other person that's got a straight hat trick, right? So you could be up there with it. So
what did Andrew get earlier in the season? I think he got 2 out of 3.
He got out of 2, yeah. He didn't get the hard one, but he got the hat trick with the bonus question. So you can top trump Andrew's stats here, mate. You could be the top Leeds fan for this season. So this is the Thunder Bastard, mate, the 35-yard screamer from outside the area. When Leeds lost 2-1 at Villa Park in January 2023, which Leeds player scored their goal?
Oh, I think you might have scuppered me now.
And you've done really well, so I can give you multiple choice for this. We do have a multiple choice option. So
okay,
I'll give you 2 answers. All right. It was either Wilfred, I can't remember how to pronounce his name.
Nonto.
Yeah, that's the one, Gonto. Or Patrick Bamford.
See, I remember Bailey scored that game, and
he did. He scored in the 3rd minute. That's correct.
That's not the question.
Was it Bamford?
It was Patrick Bamford. Well done, mate.
Was it Bamford?
Yes, it was Patrick Bamford, yeah. 83rd minute, he scored. He got a consolation goal. Emi Buendia scored our other goal. We were 2-0 up, and it made for a very nervy start, but nervy end, and we managed to hold on. I think that was, I think it was the first time we played Leeds at Unai Emery at Villa Park, if I'm not.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, we managed to hold out. Okay, so you've scored the hat-trick, mate. So this is just for bragging rights. The VAR question, the bonus question. Right, so since Leeds returned to the Premier League in 2020, how many league matches have they won at Villa Park? And if you want multiple choice, let me know, and I can give you...
Well, I think it's just one.
Mate, he's fucking smashed it.
It's the Bamford.
Oh, he's got it!
Take a bow, son. 4 out of 4. Rights, VAR not required. Mate, that's superb. Well done. You've absolutely smashed it. Mate, get him on Sky. I think you are the first person. I'd have to go back, but I'm pretty sure the first person to answer 4 out of 4.
Might be wrong. Yeah, I don't think anyone's got.
I can't remember anyone else doing 4 out of 4. We've had a few hat-trick kind of scored, but yeah. So congratulations, mate. We'll put that in the description. You've absolutely smashed it. Well done.
We'll get your pin sent out to you. That's
I completed the hat-trick quiz on every week we follow.
That's it.
That's a very long pin. Is that going to be basically long distance?
No, mate. It'll just be. What I want it to be is the every week we follow symbol with 3 little footballs underneath it. That's it.
Oh, like that. Okay, we can look into this. Into this. Okay.
There you go. This is for next season, because these things cost, and we're not making mega money at the moment. So let's one thing at a time, right?
Yeah, barely making enough money to actually pay for this software that we're using. Anyway, brilliant, cool. Well, thank you so much for that. Now, obviously, we're on to the predictions side of the show. So. We're going to go over our predicted starting lineups. I never know it's predicted, desired. What you think? Like, I think
mine's a little bit of both now. It's my predicted, but what I also would like to see. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Basically, we always have Morgan Rogers in there because that's like guaranteed. That's always going to be in there. Like we've said, he could be running around like this.
Mate, even if he was injured, I think Unai Emery would still play.
He would. He'd be headless, running around, no arms or something, and he'd still play. Right, cool. So, Dylan, if you could just give us like the kind of top main points with your team, any big changes, and I suppose the main players for us to look out for as well in your system.
So I mean, naturally, you look at Calvert-Lewin as the focal point in our team in any game that we play. I think he's the star one to look out for, but alongside him, Okafor. Now, I've been one of his biggest critics, to be fair. Up until we played Forest a few weeks ago, his output hadn't been that great, and probably there'd have been a case for Nemecha to come in and start more games alongside Calvert-Lewin. However, since that Forest game and we played Chelsea, Okafor's been really, really good, and his spell against Chelsea where he came on, he changed that game for us and was probably the best 12-minute cameo I've seen from a player this season for us, and that ultimately resulted in us getting a point at Stamford Bridge. So I think he's earned his place in this team again. I would also say that because Nemecha started in the FA Cup, I don't think he'll start in the league this season. So because of that, I think he'll start. But in the midfield, I think Brendan Aronson, he's had a good season this year for us, and he's one which many fans probably would have got rid of. But he's been so consistent for us. With Ampadu, Ampadu's probably the captain as well. He's been faultless for me, but it's so hard because I could go through our whole team, and I feel like I am just doing, but it's. But that's just it. I mean, the defense for us as well. James Justin, he only came in for 10 million from Leicester, and their fans were telling us we'd signed an absolute dud and he's no good and not good enough for this league. But he's been unbelievable for us. And to be fair, he was only meant to come in as a backup to Bogle, but he's cemented a place in this team as well. While Stroik's been out the side, and I think that's probably the back three that will play because Stroik is still, to my knowledge, not fit. I've not seen Fark's not done his presser for this game yet, but I think those are probably the key players to look out for in Ampadu, Calvert-Lewin, Okafor, and Justin, based on who's on form at the moment. But the big talking point is Darlow in goal, because Perry had a big game at the weekend in the FA Cup, saved the penalty, of course, to win us the penalty shootout, and actually had a good game. But before that, his form for us really wasn't great, and he'd been dropped for a couple games, and Darlow's come back in. So I think there's definitely a conversation there for, will Fark bring Perry back into the side for this game? I don't think he will personally, and I don't think he should, but there's definitely a conversation, and I do prefer Darlow at the minute because I do think he's probably the best that we've got in goal, and that's probably in goal is probably our weakest spot right now. It's the position that isn't really that nailed on. You look at all the other players and you can make a case for everyone to play in that team, and goalkeepers for a long time now has been a well-documented place as one of our worst positions. So with Darlow, he's not amazing, but he's not really, really terrible. He's just what we sort of need, just a calming influence, and he's just going to do his job nicely and plod along. So I think that'll be the team that lines up, and it would certainly be my team personally. There's a case for Longstaff could come in midfield as opposed to Gruev. Obviously, I mentioned Aronson has played alongside Calvert-Lewin before. Whether he drops Okafor or not, you could do that and bring in Longstaff and have Longstaff, Gruev, and Ampadu. There's many variations that you could have in that midfield. But I think that's one of the good things about this new system and what Fark's done with his recruitment this season is that we've got so many players that can play in multiple different positions. It's hard to predict what's going to come out on Saturday. And the good thing is that they're all in form as well. They're all in form, in recent weeks. Left wing backs had a great season. Right wing back Bogle's adapted really well. They've all made cases to be in that team, barring the goalkeeping position, where I think it's sort of a toss up between the two. They've all, if not nailed on, they're all fighting for their place and in form. So I think that's probably the biggest testament you can give to the squad this season, and Daniel Farke as well for his coaching.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how we set up. It's not often you play teams nowadays with two up front. So, and I do expect. Again, I haven't watched a huge amount of these. Do you guys tend to press quite high, or do you let the opposition have the ball?
We do tend to press quite a bit, especially with Calvert-Lewin as the focal point. He tends to really press the defenders quite high, and especially Brendan Aronson as well. He's like a Duracell bunny in the midfield. Like, he will run from minute 1 to minute 95, however long you play for. He'll press. I think the goal that we scored against Chelsea at home, it was literally him pressing. And against, when we played Manchester United at Ellen Road as well, that was purely just him pressing the keeper, and he caused a mistake. So that is us. That's our game. And I think that's when we're at our best as well, when we try and get at the team. And we saw that at Birmingham when they were on top. we were trying to, we were defending quite a lot. And, when we invite pressure on us, we're not that great. We're better when we go at teams and press them high and try and suffocate them. And that's where we got a result from that Chelsea game. Chelsea were all over us for 60 minutes. And then, we brought on Okafor and we started to press a lot higher up the field. And, we managed to suffocate them and pin them back a lot. So if we managed to do that against yourselves on the weekend, I do think we could have a lot of joy in the game. But it's making sure that when we need to defend, that we're ready, because on the counter attack, I think we saw, especially from you lot this season, you can punish teams.
Yeah, we are good on transition. I mean, and the thing for us is that it's like our greatest strength and our greatest weakness is that kind of playing out the back and trying to beat that press. We bait it, right? So you guys, but it's also, we've got a mistake in our back four. Yeah, so, sure. Whether it's Mings or Torres or Bogard from right back playing some weird pass or something going a bit awry, it's happened so often, but also from that position and beating that press is where the majority of our attacks and our goals have come from over the last 2 or 3 seasons. So it's just this weird one. It's a high risk, high reward, isn't it? Kind of a strategy, and that's what we play. But yeah, that kind of high energy, pressing us, running at us. Yeah, it's all just depending on how well our back four handle that, really, if I'm honest. Right, we'll get on to your lineup then, Gaz. So I haven't seen this, so I'm just going to take it in now.
It's interesting, Dylan, as you spoke about goalkeepers, because Marco Bizot had an absolute brain fart last week. God. And I think whether he just doesn't want to play for the Villa rest of the season, he's made that, because I think that red card has been upgraded to a 3-game ban rather than a 1-game ban. I think so. Not officially confirmed, but it was definitely rumoured yesterday that was going to be the case. So it brings in Martinez. Obviously, he's the world's number 1 mate, and he's an absolute solid rock at the back. However, he has looked very suspicious on crosses this season, which is something that he hasn't in the past, right? He's always been brilliant in the air. He comes out, claims it, calms the situation, but we've conceded.
Wasn't Leeds one of the first kind of instances of that this season? It was the ball went in, and he he just got clapped. He got clapped.
It was.
He didn't really go strong enough, and that's what led to their goal.
Yeah, it was, and so again, from set pieces for Leeds, I assume that you'll put immense pressure on him and kind of get people in and around him. The back four is going to be interesting. This is what I would like to see. I think he's got more of a chance of playing Pau Torres because of what you talked about, the press and his passing ability. However, what I'd like to see happen is Tyrone Mings start in the middle with Konza to kind of more or less man mark Calvert-Lewin. I think they're both physical presences, and I think Mings can handle him much better than Pau Torres can. Pau Torres is our weakness, because if you guys do press, just anything in behind us, like when you turn into Pau Torres towards his own goal, he's just such a liability with lack of pace. So if you run at him or get in and amongst him, he's not there. I think Mings just offers that little bit more of defensive security, and to consolidate that, I think for an outball, you have Maatsen. He's by far been our best left back at the moment. He offers such an attacking threat, and he's getting better defensively all the time, in my opinion. I think he's been one of our best players this year. But the big news is hopefully Matty Cash. Whether he starts or not, I don't know, but I believe he will be in the squad. Obviously, we haven't had the press conference yet, so it's not been confirmed, but definitely rumoured that he'll be in the squad. Whether he's in the starting 11 or not, I don't know. I pray to God that he is, mate, because we haven't got another right back, or that he'll play. We've got Garcia, who Emery just refuses to play, and that would mean. Yeah, well, no, he was on the suspension last couple of games, and he's just not been used.
I thought he was on there, but injured. I thought
he was injured, but he was definitely on the suspension against Newcastle, that's for sure. And we went with Bogard, and while Bogard is a great versatile player, he's not a right back, and has looked very suspect in that position. So I'm really hoping that Cash is back, and then I think it's a no-brainer. This is where our team has kind of suffered. Since January, since that FA Cup third round tie against Spurs, where we lost Kamara, then we lost McGinn, then we lost Tielemans, and Kamara's out for the season, and Kamara and Tielemans should be back in the next, hopefully, 3 or 4 weeks. But they are a massive, massive miss for us in that midfield, and not because Onana and Douglas Luiz aren't good enough to play there. It's just that they've only played 2 games together, and I think we're still building chemistry together. and I love both players individually, Onana and Luiz, but they need to start clicking as a duo and as a partnership to really do what Kamara and McGinn do in that middle, or Tielemans do in that middle, which is stop other teams playing, right? So that's where this game will be won or lost for me. The front four is the front four. Rodgers, Buendia and Sancho, that's been what he's gone with in the last 3-4 matches. All a massive threat. Rodgers, mate, he's this close to being world class for me. I think if he goes to the World Cup and has a good World Cup, I think the world's his oyster. The guy is unplayable at times, even against Newcastle. Some of the stuff he does with the football, he shouldn't be able to do it. He's big, he's powerful, he runs at players. His first touch is good. He can score goals. He can assist goals. He's got the whole package in his locker. And if I'm honest, he's just gone from strength to strength from the start of the season. He was awful in the first 6 games, and I went at him. He looked like he didn't want to be playing for us, but since then he's just been brilliant. Buendia, again, he's our best option there at the moment. I think he's been in spits and spats, right? He had a wonderful game against Newcastle away a few weeks ago where he was unplayable, scored a wonder goal, and has kind of gone missing in the last couple of games, but still has the potential to unlock defences if we can get that space. And Sancho, for me, I've said this in the last couple of episodes, right? I think a fully focused Jadon Sancho is a fabulous footballer. I think technically he's very good. I think he can unlock defences, he can score goals, he can assist like Rodgers. He hasn't quite got there. We've had probably a run of 3 games where he's looked half decent.
He's getting better and better at the minute.
He's getting better. He got an assist against Bournemouth. Probably, if we could just get a few more of them and maybe chip in with a goal or 2, he could be a real key player in our, end of the season.
The thing he's done is he's put him on the right, which is where he looked better when he was at, was it Dortmund he was at, right?
Dortmund,
whereas when he was playing for Man U or Chelsea and wherever, they put him on the left to cut in, and he's just better on the right. He just looks more comfortable. He just seems to be a better player out there, and that's where he had his most success with Dortmund as well. Yeah. So I think put him out on the right.
I mean, in that right hand side, he's actually he's doing the basics well. He's actually tracking back, stuff I didn't see him do at Chelsea, at Man United, where he was obviously clearly annoyed. I think he's slowly starting to buy into the system. And Emery even mentioned in his press conference last week that he was really seriously considering buying him. That could be a thing in the summer. That could be one of our major purchases. He's going to have to take a massive pay cut, by the way. But if he's serious about coming, then
he seems happy, doesn't he?
And that's the key, right? So, and then up top, please, Unai Emery, give Ollie Watkins a rest, right? And let Tammy Abrahams play. Please, for the love of the Lord, let this guy have a run of games. He's played 2 games from the start and couple of subs appearances Tammy has, and he just looks so much more lively than Ollie up top. His movement's better. He's linking up play. Now, Watkins can do those things, but there's just he hasn't got the same yard of pace that Tammy's got. And now Tammy, again, the problem we've got is that he's come back halfway through a season. It's getting up to the standards that we want, and I guess building those partnerships with Buendia, Rodgers, Sancho, that link-up play that we've done so well this season. And Watkins has been vital, crucial in that, just without scoring the goals. We have had goals from midfield, which have again dried up a little bit because we've lost McGinn and we've lost Tielemans, who can score goals. So, yeah, I'm hopeful that if we've got to come out the blocks flying, we've got to beat that press, right? And I think my heart is saying that we can win this game, but it's going to be difficult if Leeds get it right in the press. It will be. But this is the squad that I think can do it. And we've got a little bit of, substance on the bench, not massively, but we've got this young kid, Alisson, Brazilian kid, hopefully will be in the squad. Made his debut against Brighton last week. Again, looks, if I'm honest, like Morgan Rodgers' brother. I'm convinced his dad went to Brazil 19 years ago, and there's something that hasn't been said, because even to the way he walked, it was just like, oh my God, you have to
it's weird. It's weird how much it looks like.
It was weird. So maybe Emery's just scouring the world for Morgan Rodgers clones. I don't know. It would be great, right? So hopefully he'll play some part as well, because what I'd like to see, maybe Sancho get 60, 70 minutes, bring Alisson on to add that little bit of pace and direct play. So yeah, it's going to be a fun game. And like I say, our first 3 o'clock kickoff in over a year, which is madness. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, nice. Thank you both for those. And for anyone who has made it to 49 minutes 33, this actually went really well on the last pod.
Yeah,
we did
what's the code word, James? Come on.
Yeah, so we basically did like an hour pod the other day. And I got to the end, I was like, no one. I thought we could say what we like here. No one's watching this at this point. Like we could say, like, and I just went, if you're watching at this point, pop in the comments the word pineapple. And I couldn't believe how many pineapples we got, mate. Like, it's actually ridiculous. I was like, and to be fair, the average view duration of that episode was way more for whatever reason. So
the magic of the pineapple, mate.
So the magic word this time, or it's a two-part. It's actually 2 words, I suppose. Is jacket potato. So if you've got to hear jacket potato, just quickly on that, what's your who here likes a spud, and what's your favourite topping?
Oh, mine's tuna mayonnaise and cheese, mate. Melted on top.
Yeah, okay. Bit of butter in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You can't have a jacket potato without butter. That's criminal.
Yeah. Dylan, you got a favourite spud?
Yeah, well, I had jacket potatoes last night actually, so it's quite topical. This, so
that's what we pride ourselves on, mate.
This is it. You knew I was coming. That's it.
Yeah.
I had. What did I have? I had jacket potato with a bit of salt, pepper, butter, cheese, and then chili con carne on top.
Oh, nice. I do like a nice
good
chili.
shout, mate. Good shout.
Yeah. We were talking about this at work, and so basically, I was in the office yesterday in London, and people were like, and we were just randomly talking about this, and the thing that someone has got me onto at work over the past like month or so, and I think a lot. We've spoke about this, Gaz. We've spoke about this last time I was at yours, and it sounds wrong, but for some reason it just works. And if you want to try it out without mixing, just split the potato in half and just.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. I know what you're going to say.
Doing this.
Yeah. This is going to be controversial.
Right. So 1, butter, cheese, beans. Right. The other one, tuna mayo. But the thing to do is it sounds all kinds of wrong, but cheese, beans, tuna mayo on top. It's incredible. It's an absolute revelation. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you were wrong, and mate. Beans and tuna mayonnaise should not be put together.
It doesn't. No. I agree. It doesn't sound right. Warm and cold and fish and beans. It doesn't sound right. It's delicious. It's delicious.
It's like though toast, butter, beans, and cheese.
That's great. That's next level.
That's a classic. Yeah. I call them cheese.
Although, to be fair,
you add a bit of cheese to your beans. Cheese. So it's like kind of stringy beans.
Yeah.
Beans.
If you're having it on jacket potatoes, though, I like to do the baked beans and put cheese in the beans, mix it up, then pour it on the potato, so it's all cheesy.
Yeah, cheese. That's what I call it.
Well,
cheese.
Okay, so here's to just add to be a controversy. I don't like baked beans.
Oh, what?
Mate, the sauce is wrong. It doesn't. I can't eat baked beans. It's been something I've had as a kid. I don't know what it is. I'm a weirdo. I don't like baked beans. There you go. That's numbed your tuna thing and your cheese and beans. I understand it. My kids love cheesy beans and on toast. It's one of the go-to meals.
Sorry, guys. I just couldn't. No, I was just like, no, it's not happening.
No.
Anyway,
and everything.
Anyway, before this gets to an hour, because we like to avoid the hour if we can, because it's just something about seeing that time code and seeing like an hour and going, oh god, that's a long one to watch.
Have I got an hour spare?
Yeah, even 53 minutes is quite long. Right, so now on to the our predictions for the game. Now, the key thing here is you might be mirrored, right, in what you're seeing. So what I can see what is actually going out on YouTube, and you guys are the correct way round. So the Leeds badge and all that looks correct on your shirt.
Yeah.
You might be seeing it backwards. So if you could hold up the hand that you think is home, and I'll tell you whether it's right. So home would be over here. Other one.
This one?
The other one. No. Sorry, Dylan.
No.
Yeah, so Dylan, that's correct. That's home. Gary, yes, that's home. Right. So this is Villa. This one is Leeds. Okay. So you do your fingers, for your predictions. So
Villa,
me and
Leeds.
Gary. Yes. So me and Gary will be going first. and we'll do ours together. And then Dylan, don't worry, Dylan, you can put your hands down. It's fine. And then
Marinakis is there like that.
Yeah, Marinakis is behind the camera.
Yeah, Marinakis is coming. He's like, fucking hell, Dylan.
Say Forest not going to get relegated. Take it back. Take it back.
I knew you like beans, mate. Trust me.
Oh, I love it. Right, okay.
Oh, superb.
Right, Gary, right, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Villa, Leeds. Okay.
Villa, Leeds. Villa, Leeds.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Always going 2-0.
3-1. I'm going 2-0, clean sheet.
I'm going for the Tammy. If he starts Tammy, I think there's goals.
I'm going Rodgers and Tammy to score. Go on then, Dylan.
Yeah.
What's your score prediction, mate?
All right. Do this. Do that.
2-2.
Oh, it's gone for the Desmond.
He's going for a Desmond.
I think he's done that because he couldn't remember which one was home and which one was away.
It's easier for me.
Do you know what? I always have two results going through my head, right? And that was my heart result that we get a clean sheet and score a couple of goals. I actually think it will be much closer than that. I think it could be a draw, or we could scrape it 1-0, and I would take it, just like the Brighton game where it's quite cagey and we create chances, but a bit nervy maybe. And you with your away form, I think you'll probably play for a point, because a point will be a good result, and you get. Like we spoke about earlier, if you can win your home games, then you're probably going to stay up. So it's going to be a cagey affair, I feel. But my heart says 2-0. My head says 1.
Yes. I'm just going to quickly... So obviously, anyone who is new here, we are running every week We Predict. It's completely free. It's every week wepredict.com. You can simply sign up with your email address, then come into here. You can make a prediction in here. So Gary... What are we going for? I need to put the Brighton and Newcastle results in. I've got a bit lapsed.
Oh, come on, mate. I get loads of abuse on TikTok when you don't update this.
I know you do. What am I going for?
Let's go 2-0. Come on, let's be brave.
Okay. And what minute's the first goal?
First goal is going to be in the 19th minute. There you go.
Okay, right.
Put a bet on that as well.
Locked in. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Dylan. That was really great, insightful. Actually, really insightful. I should send this to Ellis and be like, mate, get this guy on Sky. I don't know why he's not on there. He talks really well. And he's very knowledgeable.
Great knowledge, Dylan. Really enjoyed that, mate. Good chat.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Right, brilliant.
And...
Well, go on.
No, go on. I'll finish up on the final thought, mate.
Oh, right. Okay. I was going to say, obviously, so we're recording this on the Wednesday. We should have said that at the start, if I'm honest. So we're recording this on the Wednesday. The game is obviously on Saturday. Gary might be able to get on Saturday night to do a live reaction.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
Cool. We'll get on live to do a live reaction. Dylan, you're welcome to join that as well, mate, if you want to.
Yeah, I'll be free, mate.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Sweet.
I'll be free.
Well, mate. Well, Gossa, we'll let you know when we're going online. Just use the same link that we sent you, and you can kind of jump on and give us your opinion whether win, lose, or draw, and we can pick it apart. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, we have a good fun. And then Monday, me and Gary will obviously be back with our usual weekly thoughts pod. Before then, the preview for the following week against the Wolves.
Wolves.
Derby day.
Mate, I'm getting the Wolves fan on. I'm getting him on. I'm going to drag him on. If I have to go after my wife's work and drag him out of the office, he's going to come on. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, we've got to get him on. Anyway, well, that's what Dylan will be there like, I didn't touch me. Right. Brilliant. Well, thanks again, Dylan, for coming on. It's been brilliant. But Gary, give us your final thoughts and then sing us out, mate.
Yeah, final thoughts. So, Dylan, well done, mate. Congratulations on the hat-trick quiz. 4 out of 4, straight and arrow. Probably the best performance of the season so far. So, buzzing for that for Dylan. Final thoughts is this. Look, there's been a lot of speculation this week of that we're falling off the cliff and that our season's done. I don't know why. It's a little bit from opposing fans. It's a little bit from our own fans that think that we're just not going to finish in the top 4 and not going to win the Europa League. And that because and I get it, it's down to our injuries, but I'm just here to say, villains, keep the faith, trust in Unai Emery. Right? He's a world-class manager, and that combination of Dougie and Nana is going to come good. Tammy's going to start scoring. Right? If we win the next 2 games, starting on Saturday, beat Wolves, Go into those Man United and Chelsea games. Look, it's all to play for, so just keep the faith. And as always, every week we follow the boys in Claret and Blue. Peace, people. Big love.
See ya.